So thank you really for being here. I'm Holo. I come from Buenos Aires, from Argentina. You may know some of these people that are also from Argentina. And if you haven't watched these shows like The Eternaut or haven't watched this movie, please watch it. It's a great movie and a great show. Uh, Argentina is also home to Nerdearla. Okay, so this is how we pronounce Nerdearla in English. I know it's a mouthful. So it's Nerdearla. Can you do it? Nerdearla. Excellent. Which is pretty much Spanish for Nerd It Up. It's a nerd tech event. And it's the biggest tech event you never heard of, probably, if you're from here. So we started in 2014. We went hybrid in 2022. It's 100% free for attendees. It has been free for everybody since we started in 2014. We are backed, or we have been backed by big companies such as Google, AWS, Microsoft, Meta, GitHub, all the big players. Last year, we had over 200 speakers from 20 different countries. We have run 12 editions. Actually, this is our 12th edition in Buenos Aires. The next one is coming up late September. We are doing our first one in Madrid in November. We've done 2 editions in Santiago de Chile, returning in 2026, and one in Mexico City that we are still figuring out the dates. So last year we did 3 events. We did Chile, Argentina, and Mexico, and we had a total of 15,000 people in person and 50,000 online. Imagine a big event with lots of people, lots of nerds, lots of people showing up, lots of like fun activities to do. You could take your photo with the this is fine. Like you had like 2,000 people watching the keynote speaker at the end. We did a special event at the Buenos Aires Planetarium. It is a big thing. And there is an unwritten law or unwritten rule for free events. I don't know if anybody organizes events here, but if 50% of the people that register actually show up, you have to celebrate. You are lucky. That's like the most that you're going to get in a free event is 50% of people actually showing up. Because free events means low commitment, and so no consequences for skipping. People register just in case, and then they show up. Life gets in the way. I know that everybody has a life. There might be transportation issues. Maybe not. I don't know out here, but in Latin America, we do have a lot of transportation issues sometimes. There may be bad weather. It may be raining. It may be too cold or too hot. People may forget about the event that is happening. So those are the reasons why people may not show up in the end. So how is it that we drive registrations? We rely on paid, owned, and earned media, as anybody does, with the exception that we don't really pay for anything. Like we don't pay for getting people at the door. We just rely on organic stuff and earned media, which we do great. Actually, like we are very lucky that most of the media in Argentina and around the country, like they cover the event. So we are going to focus on own media for the purpose of this talk. And these are the numbers from last year. So we are doing great on social. We have over 1 million, 1.5 million impressions on Instagram, 1.2 on Twitter, 600,000 on LinkedIn, almost 300,000 views on YouTube. And these are great numbers. And we have a great community manager. She's great. She really turned the volume up to 11 on our social media presence. But social media drives awareness, at least for us. That's what you drive with social media. You drive awareness. You don't drive like conversion. Again, at least for us. So for me, this really represents like 4% of people that register through Instagram, they actually show up. 8% for Twitter, 7% or something like that for LinkedIn. And again, these are all the own media that we have on social. Can you think of any other own media that we have and I haven't spoken about yet? I'm thinking of the name. Yeah, email. Thank you. So can you guess how many people actually show up if they register through email? 20%. Do I get bored? 20, 25, 30, 30. Okay. 35. So these are the numbers that we got from like conversion from people that register from social media versus email. And it was like huge for us to actually realize that we are focusing all of this time and effort. And again, it's great that we are doing social media and we love social media. But at the same time, like me as a conference organizer, I really care about people showing up, like people registering and people showing up to the event. But at the same time, we all knew this, that the email is dead. It was born in 1971. It died probably this year, or it has died many times over. Because we have all of these like gurus on YouTube, like people like going out on their way to say that the email is dead. You have lots of people saying on YouTube that the email is dead, that the email is dead again. There you go. 3 reasons why the email is dead, 5 reasons why the email is dead, they keep going up. Email marketing is dead, like Change My Mind from Reddit. Inc. Magazine seems to have some sort of like personal issue with emails. So in 2018, they said like the email is already dead. Mark Zuckerberg, of course, he has a thing against email. So he also said that the email is dead. And again, Inc. Magazine said again that the email, like in 2015, they said that the email was going to be dead by 2020. That didn't really age well. At least they're still promoting their newsletter. So I don't really honestly know what Inc. has against like email. I get it why Mark Zuckerberg may be against email, but Inc. Magazine, I don't know. So some boring stats about email, and trust me on this one because, you can see them. 4.6 billion active users worldwide. 99% of the users check their inbox at least once a day, and many more we do it more than once. 69% read their emails while watching TV or in bed or in vacations. And 58% checks their email before they check social media or they check news or anything else. So with that in mind, we say like, okay, let's double down on email. This is the attendees database that we have right now. It's pretty large. And these are the users that are active within the year. And we can discuss later if that's a good time span to keep your database. It should be shorter, it should be larger. We actually have over 200,000 subscribers, but active within the last year. This is the latest numbers that I pulled earlier today. And in 2024, we sent out 3 million email to these poor people over here, which seems like we are spamming people, but trust me, we are not. If you think of it, that's less than 20 emails per person, like average. And we have people that are subscribed to our monthly newsletters. So that's already 12 emails that you're going to get throughout the year. And it's only like 7 more emails that you get. And we did 3 events last year. So, of course, that's only average. Like some people may get only 1 email every month, and some people may get more emails depending on the segment on how we consider them. So 3 million emails in 1 year. This is what we had to pay if we wanted to go like the classic SaaS way. We could start here with Brivo. Actually, we use Sending Blue, Brivo, like almost $4,000, and then we can go all the way down to Mailchimp, which was like about $20,000. Or if we wanted to really go higher, we could use HubSpot, which isn't really fair because they do much more than email marketing. But still, again, we don't pay for anything. We try not to pay for anything. So here comes open source to the rescue. And open source doesn't mean free. Please don't ever quote me saying that I said that open source is free. Open source is not free. But this particular project called Mautic is an open source project that you can run yourself. You can install it. And it's open source, and it also happens to be free. And we are using a combination of Mautic and Amazon AWS SES for sending out the actual emails. So we went from like having to pay like between $4,000 to like 20 to, can you guess how much we pay for $3 million with AWS SES? $50. Well, a little higher than that, but still like $300. Like it is like 0.0000001 cent per email. But you do have to pay for your email, so we can discuss about that later. So Mautic is a very flexible platform. It's a very big platform, but it has all the basics and more. Like here's like the contacts view. So this is one of my co-organizers, Eduardo. So you have all the data that you want to have of your contacts, like first name, last name, email, segments that you can build. And you can build these fields yourself. Like for example, like if they want to receive sponsored messages, if the technology stack that they use, and all of this comes from registration. So although the conference is free, you do need to share some of your information here. So years of experience was 10 to 15, company, and all of that like metadata about the contacts. And you also get like, I sent him like 40 emails. He opened 90% of them, which is good. Thank you, Eduardo, if you're watching this. Click-through rate and click-through open rate doesn't, like, I don't know what Eduardo is doing. He should be opening up the emails that we send out, but still like pretty good. And you get these stats for each user. You can build segments, of course, which is like group of people. You can build them like statically, like you just upload a CSV file or whatever into a segment, or you create your own dynamic segments. I don't think this is like very readable for you, but this is a segment of people that read this particular email. Or for example, people that country equals Argentina, or email domain ends with .ar. So you can build like these segments, and you can build many segments, combining a lot of things using or and operators. And the fun thing here, and I will do it very fast so you can see when it appears again. You can build campaigns. So campaigns, they start with a contact source and you filter them out. For example, the first step is usually always like have a valid email address. You wouldn't imagine how many people mistype like gmail.com with an N or Hotmail or like whatever, or like, or they would even like put like gmail.com.ar from Argentina that doesn't really exist as a domain name. So you have to make sure that these are valid domains. And then it's a workflow. So you send an email, you wait for a couple of days to see if they open it. And if not, you send them the email, like you send another email, a follow-up email, and all of that. And basically you can do, well, you can do like actions, decisions, and conditions for each of these steps. And that's how you run a campaign. So in this one, like if the segment is Argentina, I send this email. If the segment is not Argentina, so red means no, green means yes. If the person is not from Argentina, I'm going to send them another email. So maybe I will send them an English, an email that's in English. Whereas if they're in Argentina, they're going to send it in Spanish. Or for example, if they are a Hotmail user, I'm not going to send them anything. So if you are from Hotmail, nothing's going to come your way. If you are not on Hotmail, yes, I'm going to send you something, and I will elaborate on that later. So how do we enable or foster conversion here? And this goes more into like the HTML piece or the email that you are going to send the user. This is one of our emails from last year. So it has everything that we needed to have. Like it has like the header here. You have like the copy and the call to action, like register for free at the event. And we used to send the same email to everybody. So basically we were using like email as social media. On social media, you cannot send like one-on-one like messages to everybody. And on email, we were doing the same thing, which was a huge mistake on our end because email does have that flexibility. So we were sending out like this email, and this is like a great email. Like I would have assumed that people would be excited about receiving this email because we had a great lineup of speakers last year. So this guy created Unix and Go, Radio Perlman, like he literally builds things that are on the International Space Station. Who else? Like we have somebody that landed a rover on Mars. We had the creator of DevOps, Patrick Dewa. We had the first Argentinian, like South American chess champ grandmaster of chess and we had great line of speakers. And the email did okay. We sent 122 emails, 34%. No, sorry, 33,000 people read it, so that's 27%. 6,000 people clicked on it. So the CTR means like 5% conversion here, and CTOR click-through open rate was 18%, which by an industry average, that's okay. It's good. But then we discovered this feature that Mautic has, and I'm sure every other provider has the same, where you can build dynamic emails. So based on conditions, you can actually tailor every email that goes out. And I'm not just talking about like, hey, Ariel, or hey, Juan Pablo, or hey, whatever. You can actually change the content of the email. So what we did here was, again, the same. And instead of putting like the whole, like the lineup, the speakers lineup, we built their own ones. And I'm like using this because these are actual timelines and I don't want anybody to feel offended. But we built custom talks, recommended talks for everybody. Can you guess if it did better or worse? Better, of course, better. Thank you. So we sent out pretty much the same amount. We had a slightly better, like 30% open rate. But we had twice, trust me on this one, we had twice as much people clicking. We had almost twice as much CTR and almost like 31% versus 18% conversion like to open rate. Just because we were like customizing each email. So we really increased the chances of people actually wanting to attend the conference, not to maybe watch Ken Thompson, which I love, but maybe people don't really care about Unix or Go. They are JavaScript developers. But here I'm telling you, like, go watch like this, Java 8 or backend talk, because I know that you care about that. So for us, like segmentation is key. Sorry. And this is how we do it. Like very simply, we have all the attendee information. So that was my record over there. So I'm a DevOps engineer, 20 years of experience. I use the technology stack like Linux, Bash, AWS, whatever here. And on the other half, we have like the talks information provided by the speakers. So we have the title, the track, the target audience, and the tags. So this is pretty much like a 101 like matching thing. So you match the position to the track, you match the years of experience to the target audience, and you match the tags and the technology stack, and you get this beautiful email that you are going to imagine right now, where I get like my recommended talks. And again, we increase by a lot the opportunity of people actually showing up. All of this without using any AI. Like we don't really, yeah. Probably this is the first slide that you see no AI in the conference. Thank you. So this is very simple to do. Like on Mautic, you can build your own dynamic content. So for example, here I have like position, like technology using like this is UX Figma or Illustrator, position designer or UX, and then I complete that with UX here. And on the HTML, I have like remember the 6 like thumbnails. All I do here is a image source that points to my endpoint with dynamic content here, dynamic content here, dynamic content here. And that's how you build like a very simple thing without using AI. Other ways to use email, the other way that we are using email is to improve people's like experience. So whenever you come to the event, as many events, you have your QR code. So this is like the registration place, and people have their QR codes in hand, and they need to be scanned in order to validate that they are like real like attendees. So whenever your code was scanned, we had a webhook that basically send you an email like saying, "Hey, welcome to the venue. These are the top things that we need you to do in the first 5 minutes that you step a foot on the conference, and we do it every day. So here's the Wi-Fi password, here's the schedule, here's the app that you need to download. These are the social media accounts that you need to follow or tweet or like post or whatever." We do care about social media. We love social media, and we care that people use social media when they are on the event. I want people to sign up via email because I know they are more likely to come. But once you are on the event, you're not going to shoot any emails. Like you are going to post on Twitter, you're going to post on Instagram. So I do want you to use social media here. Very quickly, some things that you need to have in mind if you are going to start your email marketing campaign. DNS stuff, you need somebody that's really really wise in like technical stuff, because if you mess up your DNS configuration, your emails are not going to go anywhere, or they're going to go to spam. You need to be sending consistent volume. So if you try to send out like the first day's 50,000 emails, that's not going to work. You need to warm up. You need to start sending by smaller chunks. Keep your spam rates below actually 0.1%. Monitor your campaigns. So if you're sending a campaign and you start getting a lot of bounces, a lot of like spam reports, pause the campaign, do whatever you need to solve for it. But do not keep sending emails if you're getting flagged like real time, because you're going to be shooting yourself on the foot. And then of course use clear and honest like display names. One click and subscribe is something that we all appreciate as users. And you can use Beanie to get your logo on the email client. Also, be aware of your sending limits. We just got upgraded, thanks AWS. We were sending 14 emails per second. We doubled that pretty much. So that means like 1,800 per minute. And this is how on Mautic, you need to use cron shops to send emails. So it runs every minute with a time limit of 55 seconds. And we allow it to send only 1,700 just in case something happens. But this is the way to keep emails. Like we use an email queue, and also we throttle it depending on how we are doing. But this is something important. Like again, Mautic is free, it's open source, it's great, but you need to take care of this. Again, for us, we are all sysadmins and we know how to do it. If not, we will have to rely on SendGrid or all of these other vendors. Also on Mautic, you need to close the loop. Like we are using the API to communicate to SES, and then SES uses SMTP to go to Gmail or to the email provider. If you get a bounce, if you get an error, you need to report that back to Mautic, because otherwise it's not going to know that an error happened, and it's going to try to keep sending emails to the same email address that's no longer valid. So you're going to get flags. You are going to be paying for that email in the end, and it's in nobody's best interest to do that. So you need to do this manually. It's pretty tedious, but it's pretty straightforward to get them into your do not contact information. So in this case, like recipient address rejected, user unknown. So this was a user that was deleted out of somebody's like email server. And finally, Hotmail. I don't know if anybody had to deal with sending emails to Hotmail. You know my pain here. I don't know. I don't know if anybody here works at Hotmail, or if you do, like, let's meet outside. Um, it was too painful. We ended up deciding not sending emails, at least not through SES. So we use Swapcar as our event platform, and they get to Hotmails in some ways that we don't understand. So we ended up building like this segment where we filter the email domains that equals Hotmail, Outlook, Live.com, or Hotmail.s. And we don't send emails to them anymore using Mautic, at least, or using SES. We do communicate to these people, which is a very small portion of our audience, but still relevant to us, of course. But we are using something else because they can actually get to Hotmail. For some reason, it was a long time since for a long time we couldn't. Now, since we improved, thanks Eduardo, a lot of things on our DNS, it's working better, but still we rely more on Swapcar for that. So what's next for us regarding email marketing? We are having now faster campaigns delivery thanks to AWS that bumped our sending limits. We are going to go like bigger on granularity on dynamic emails to get more like better recommendations for our users. More A/B testing. We are not really using A/B testing right now, which you should be using A/B testing. For some reason, we are not. I know the reason. It's not. We are not creative enough with the email subjects to do A/B testing, but we should be doing that. We are also going to try to use the Mautic point system, and I'm sure this also happens in every other platform. You can assign users points for actions. So, for example, if they if they open an email, you give them 1 point. If they click on a link, you give them 3 points. If they click on 2 links, you give them 6 points. If they show up to your events, you give them 20 points. If they show up to 2 events, you give them 40 points or whatever. And then you can build segments or stages or tiers and take action. So if you have a user that has 100 points, you can invite them to a VIP party or something like that. We are going to also leverage unsubscribe groups. On Mautic, you can declare these different unsubscribe groups for different people. So we run Mautic for Nerdiala, but also for other things that we do as a community. So we want people to be able to unsubscribe for different things without unsubscribing from the whole of the instance. So that's coming up this year. And yeah, we are going to use some AI for sure and recommendations and stuff. So the email is not dead really, it's far from dead. Use it, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, I think we might have time for one question because then we're going to all be heading up for the final keynote panel. But yes, let's go ahead and ask the question.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Daniel. We're also using Mautic, but at a much smaller scale. So our badges are around 4,000 to 8,000 emails, I would say. So if nobody else wants to ask a question, I will take this opportunity to ask you for your favorite, not so obvious feature in Mautic. So maybe something we could steal and also use.
Are you using the points system? That's the key thing that I want to try that I'm most excited about next. Because you can do that. You can actually start like rewarding behavior. So if somebody opens an email, you give them 1 point. If they click on email, you give them 3 points. If they do something, they download a white paper or whatever, you give them more points. And then they start bubbling up. So right away, you can see actually on the segments who's more engaged, and you can do stuff with them. Or you realize that, okay, these people are really you can build like the marketing funnels around it. So like conversion, like, okay, this person is ready to go to our next stage, or maybe we could upsell them. Here's an opportunity. They downloaded this white paper. We can upsell them, whatever. I don't know what is it that you do as a product, but I will use that. And the other thing I was going to say, this like building dynamic emails is great. Also on Mautic, you can build like these forms. The other great thing about Mautic is that you can build web like landing pages and web forms. So for example, if you go to our web page, the sign up for the newsletter, that goes directly into Mautic. But you can do like download this white paper or whatever, and you get their contact information, and you let them download some assets, so PDF or whatever you have, and you put them right back into Mautic, and you update the information and everything. So point systems and subscribe groups, as I was saying, like also those are great. And we just migrated to Mautic 5. We have been running Mautic 4 until like 2 weeks ago. Thank you, Nachi. So we just upgraded to Mautic 5. It was a very painful process to migrate all the data. But I'm sure it has like many features we haven't discovered yet. Also, the queuing system changed a lot. I recommend using queues to be able to throttle the sending limits. Yeah, try those things. Thank you.